5 o'clock. The house is a tomb of silence, but the phone screen is a burning beacon in the dark. A single notification pulses. The portfolio has dipped another 2%. It is not a crash, but a slow, grinding erosion of value. Most would swipe the screen black, pull the blankets higher, and retreat into the safety of sleep. The investor does not. He sits up, the mattress springs groaning in the stillness. He stares at the numbers. 2% is not just a percentage. It is hours of labor vanishing into the ether. He slides out of bed, his feet finding the cold floor. The air in the room is stagnant, heavy with the weight of things left undone. He walks to the kitchen, the floorboards silent under his weight, and begins the ritual of the morning. He measures the grounds, pours the water, and waits for the black coffee to drip. Every second of the wait is a calculation. He does not pace. He does not curse the market. He simply watches the steam rise, his mind already shifting gears from the shock of the loss to the mechanics of the recovery. Now, there is only the audit. He pulls the ledger onto the wooden table. The surface is cool, unyielding. He opens the book to the last 30 days of entries. Every transaction is a ghost of a decision he once made. He takes a red pen, the cap clicking sharply as he pulls it off. He starts at the top of the list. Rent, utilities, groceries, fuel. These are the foundations. Then, he hits the noise. A streaming service he has not opened in months. A premium coffee subscription that arrives every 2 weeks, piling up on the counter. He circles them in red. The ink bleeds slightly into the paper. He pauses, looking at the total cost of these small, forgotten leaks. It is $200. He draws a thick, final line through the entries. He opens his laptop, navigates to the account settings, and hits cancel. The screen refreshes. The confirmation message appears. $200, once destined to vanish, is now back in his control. He closes the ledger and sets the pen down. The first rule is absolute. You cannot build on a foundation of waste. He takes a sip of his coffee. He pulls a blank notepad from the shelf. The paper is crisp, waiting. He writes his monthly income on the left side, his expenses on the right. The gap is a thin, fragile line. It is not enough. He stares at the numbers until they blur. Then he flips the page. He needs more than just savings. He needs leverage. He lists the skills he possesses that the market currently ignores. Data analysis, technical writing, and basic coding. He circles each one. These are not just hobbies. They are assets. He feels the shift in his posture, a tightening of focus. He is no longer just watching his money evaporate. He is deciding how to earn more. He opens a fresh document on his laptop, the cursor blinking like a heartbeat. He begins to type, outlining a project proposal for a potential client. He details the deliverables, the timeline, and the value he can provide. He deletes a sentence, rephrases a paragraph, and sharpens the pitch. Every key press is a deliberate move toward a new income stream. The passive observer is gone. He is an active earner now, building a bridge across the gap. He reviews the draft, nods once, and prepares to send it. The plan is solid. The work is ready. He reads the proposal one last time. Every word is a calculated claim to value. He checks the recipient address, the subject line, and the attachment. The room is still dark, but the sky outside the window is beginning to bruise with the first light of dawn. He rests his finger on the trackpad. This is the moment where the planning ends and the gamble begins. He thinks of the narrow gap in his finances, the recurring waste he already cut, and the skills he has finally put to work. If he does nothing, the gap remains. If he sends this, the possibility of a new income stream becomes real. He breathes out, a long, steady exhale that clears the tension from his shoulders. He clicks. The screen flickers as the message leaves his outbox. It is done. He watches the progress bar complete. He turns back to the bookshelf, pulling down a worn volume on asset allocation. The pages are thin, marked with his own notes from years ago. He does not read for pleasure. He reads for mechanics. He needs to stop trading his hours for dollars and start letting his capital generate its own velocity. He opens his banking portal. The savings account balance is a stagnant, safe figure. It is losing value to inflation every single day. He navigates to the investment dashboard, his cursor hovering over the transfer button. This is the moment of friction. To move the money is to lose the immediate comfort of the safety net. But to keep it there is to guarantee stagnation. He selects the diversified index fund. He inputs the full amount. His fingers pause on the keyboard. He checks the ticker symbol, the expense ratio, and the projected allocation one last time. The screen reflects in his eyes, a grid of shifting percentages and historical trends. He clicks confirm. The page refreshes. The balance in the savings account drops to 0, and the investment portfolio updates. He is an allocator of resources. He closes the tab and leans back. The phone vibrates on the desk, a sharp, metallic sound against the wood. He picks it up. A message from a friend, an invitation to a high-end dinner downtown. He reads the venue name, then the estimated cost per person. It is a week's worth of groceries, or a significant contribution to his index fund. He taps the screen, opening his budget spreadsheet. The numbers are clear. He looks at the gap between his current income and his long-term target. The dinner is an immediate, fleeting pleasure. The investment is a compounding future. He sets the phone down, face up. He picks up the phone again, types a short, direct message, and hits send. I cannot make it tonight. He locks the screen. The room returns to its previous silence. He stands, walks to the kitchen. He sits at the table, the weight of the decision settling into a quiet, cold resolve. The kitchen light hums, casting a sharp, white glare over the counter. He sets a single bowl of oats and water down on the table. It is not the meal he could have had, but it is the meal he chose. Outside, the city moves. He hears the faint, rhythmic thrum of traffic and the distant laughter of people gathering in restaurants. He imagines the clinking of glasses and the warmth of a crowded room. The contrast is visceral. He takes a spoonful of the porridge. It is bland, textureless, and entirely functional. He chews slowly, forcing himself to focus on the intake of calories rather than the absence of company. The silence of the house presses against his ears, a heavy, quiet weight that feels like a physical barrier between him and the rest of the world. He looks at his laptop, still open to the market dashboard. The numbers are static, waiting for the morning bell. He realizes that this is the true cost of his ambition. The quiet hours, the simple meals, and the deliberate exclusion of the immediate for the sake of the distant. He finishes the bowl, cleans it, and places it back in the rack. He is alone, but he is in control. The months bleed into one another, marked only by the shifting numbers on his laptop screen. He tracks his net worth with the precision of a surgeon. Some months the line climbs, a slow, steady ascent. Other months, the market turns, and the line dips, erasing weeks of progress in a single afternoon. He watches the red arrows flicker. The urge to sell, to stop the bleeding, is a physical sensation, a tightening in his chest, a heat behind his eyes. He grips the edge of the desk until his knuckles turn white. The screen glows, demanding a reaction, a panicked click to liquidate and retreat to safety. He does not move. He closes his eyes, counts to 10, and forces his hands to stay away from the mouse. He reminds himself that the market is not a machine to be outrun, but a tide to be navigated. When the dividends arrive, he does not withdraw them for comfort. He clicks the reinvest button, feeding the capital back into the fund, compounding the position, while the rest of the world reacts in fear. He watches the transaction confirm, a small, digital victory over his own instincts. The line on the graph remains flat, then dips again, but he does not flinch. He keeps his head down, focused on the long-term mechanics of growth. He is winning. The final day of the year arrives with a cold, clear light. He sits at the same desk, the same chair, the same screen. He pulls up the annual summary. The numbers have shifted, not by a sudden windfall or a lucky break, but by the slow, relentless accumulation of every dividend reinvested and every unnecessary expense deleted. The total has grown. It is a tangible, undeniable reality. He leans back, the chair creaking in the quiet room. He remembers the early mornings, the silence of the house, and the persistent, nagging urge to panic when the market dipped. He traces the graph with his finger, seeing the history of his own restraint etched into the line. It is not a story of excitement. It is a story of repetition. He realizes that the wealth he holds is not just the balance on the screen, but the result of 1,000 small, invisible choices made when no one else was watching. He reaches out, his hand steady, and presses the power button. The screen fades to black. The room darkens, but he does not reach for the light. He sits in the stillness, breathing slowly. The hunger for immediate results is gone, replaced by a profound, quiet peace. He stands up, leaves the laptop on the desk, and walks into the rest of his life.